Greetings from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of absolutely fascinating occurrences, at least over the past 48 hours or so. It seems that each night the thunderstorms get more and more intense. They always seem to follow a line between Nevada and Wyoming, the border. But as soon as they reach the eastern extreme of that line and hit South Dakota, they spread and reach towards the black holes like a starving person would reach for food. And every night so far, they've just barely missed my town. But I don't know if we're going to have the same luck again tonight. Last night, the hail got to tennis ball sized north of town. The night before that, only ping pong ball sized. We've had softball sized hail in Piedmont. All kinds of very interesting things. But and 3 emails that were obviously bogus, and I think you've gotten a number of them also. And these emails are summonses. They tell you that you have to appear in court, but they don't on a certain date, yes, a certain time, yes, but they don't tell you which court. They don't tell you who wants what from you. They don't tell you who they are, nor is there any way to trace them and find out who they are without hiring someone like Mitnick Security. They're obviously bogus, because I wouldn't know where to go even if I fell for such a scam. And chances are excellent that it's just a method of either trying to get information out of you that will help them steal your identity, and or install some sort of Trojan or virus on your computer. So I knew better than to fall for any of that. But last night I got an email that was very interesting. It started out, "Dear General Jibalisco," and that led me to believe that they had the wrong guy, whether they were legitimate or not. This person, apparently an accountant, is apparently a legitimate person, and he made a claim that probably will eventually be true, and that is that 100% of summonses will be done by email. But he said he went on to apologize for the malicious treatment that I received at the hands of the CPA, a particular local CPA. Well, I only know one local CPA, and he's never even come close to treating me maliciously. In fact, I think he figures I'm a waste of his time, but he doesn't treat me maliciously. So I knew that this guy, at the very least, had the wrong guy, and I told him so. I think you got the wrong guy. And he comes back to me and says, "Well, I'm sorry for having disturbed your sleep." But the interesting thing that he said was the expression of his opinion that someday all process service will be done by email. Well, I found that very difficult to swallow. It's not going to happen anytime soon in my guesstimation. So I called the Attorney General here in the state of Florida, the Consumer Protection Department, which led me to the Attorney General's office, which didn't know. Did you believe that? They didn't know whether someone can actually serve a summons by email. So they gave me a number to call, and that number was the very number that had referred me to them. So, welcome to Dakota Territory, United States of absurdities. But this, apparently there is some truth to the email claim, but it's not in general true now. If someone wants to, say if I want to sue someone in California because I think that they stole too much of my work, a copyright infringement lawsuit, for example. If I wanted to do that, and there were process servers in their area available to serve them with the papers I would have to draw up and send to them and go through all of that, then that's the way I'd have to do it as I understand it. I couldn't just send them an email or have my attorney send them an email summoning them to appear in our court here in Deadwood. At least I don't think I could. But someday, this person says, someday you will be able to do that. In fact, that'll be the only way to do that. Well, I called a very good relative friend of mine who happens to be a top attorney in Minneapolis, and she said, that isn't true now. That's not true now. And it'll probably be a long, long time before it is. So opinions are split on this. Is it a legitimate way to deliver, to issue a summons? Or is it not? I'm going to try to remember to leave comments open and ask you that question. What do you think? What do you know? Have you received any of these scam emails? And have you actually been fooled by any of them? Some of them apparently are even more sinister than the ones I got because they do contain court locations and times and appearances, and you have to go out of your way to call those people and find out if they really issued such a summons. But my understanding is that if there are other means available, and there certainly are here, if someone wants to serve me with papers, that's the way they have to do it. They can't just fire me off an email. Or we'd have absolute chaos and bedlam in our world, and all of these process service matters would dissolve into meaninglessness. That's my opinion. And he concluded, of course, by apologizing. I'm sorry to have disturbed your sleep. Well, believe me, sir, you did not disturb my sleep. What was disturbing my sleep at the time was my own illness, which I shall not get into, and the fact that we could very well at any moment get struck by tennis ball-sized hail, in which case I would have had to drop everything and take a video of it. And then I'd get some hits. Stan Gibilisco signing off for now. Let me know what you think. But whatever you do, please don't call me a troglodyte. I already know it. Until next time, so long.